Woo! What's going on, guys? Orum's Forum coming at you guys today again, and today I'm going to be going on a little bit, kind of going off the seat of my pants here. Don't really have a particular subject. It is a subject today that I do want to talk about, but it's not like something I made no notes. There's nothing I made. This is my book of notes I got. Tons of these guys out there, tons of them. Piles and piles of books stacked. Now, what I want to talk about is I want to talk a little bit about the Detroit Lions, obviously. I want to talk about this fan base. I want to talk the expectations. I want to talk about on how this is an organization. This is an organization that has not been good for a long time. We won 57, 1957, whatever year it was, whatever year William Clay Ford bought this team, was pretty much the last time this team ever won a championship. It was in the late 50s. Bobby Lane left, put a curse on this team, and it's been going on ever since. It's been going on forever. Ups and downs, playoffs, no playoffs, long stretches of no playoffs. Some good teams, some really, really bad football teams, but nothing came close a couple times. Almost made it to an NFC Championship game back in the 90s. With who was it there? Eric Kramer, I think it was Eric Kramer. Had some good teams, had some bad teams. Okay, we can talk about guys like Monty Clark back in the 80s, up to Wayne Fonts, Bobby Ross, those type of head coaches coming here. Steve Mariucci, Rod Marinelli, Jim Schwartz, Caldwell, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on and on and on. Different GMs all the time. So many GMs just to name, like Matt Millen, Martin Mayhew, Caldwell's the coach, sorry. Martin Mayhew, Bob Quinn, and the new one, Brad Holmes. And there was many more before that. There's been an organization that has dumped on this fan base for a long time. It's been heartbreaking to be a Detroit Lions fan, to tell you the truth. Heartbreaking. There's no love-hate relationship with me with this organization, but sometimes there's a love-hate relationship with me with this fan base. You know what I mean? But the organization itself, not really. The organization has pretty much made Hall of Fame players walk away from the game early in their career. Barry Sanders is one of them. 10 years playing in the league. He was nowhere near done. He left. Now, he says it was because of he wanted to be healthy for his kids and his own body, and just the love of the game, the fire was gone. Calvin Johnson, 9 years, Hall of Fame player. I don't think was nowhere near done. Was he slowing down? Maybe a bit, but he was still dominating at a high level. Walked away 9 years. Injuries, so forth. That. Not being able to win. Problems with the front office, problems with the doctors on the team itself, just problems, and walked away from the game. Apparently tried to come back, but that's a whole other story. Now, like I said, we've gone through coaches and GMs aplenty. Just like any other organization, it's not just the Detroit Lions. We've gone through it through and through. And every time it's, wow, this feels different. This feels different. This is better. This is better. This looks better. We're going to win. And I was that guy, okay? I was that guy. I'm going to get to my point a little bit. I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but that's okay. Stay with me. It's just, it's a little bit of a rant. It's just a little bit, I'm all over the joint, okay? But that's okay. But like I said, we've had multiple GMs, multiple coaches, and every time another guy comes through or another regime come through, it's a whole different story. Whole different story. And I was that guy. I was one of those guys. I was a delusional, homer, Kool-Aid drinking Lions fan. Now, when I say that you're a homer, delusional, Kool-Aid drinking Lions fan, it's not a put down. It's not really a put down because I was one of them. I was one of them for years. I'm 48 years old, okay? 48. I don't look a day over 60, by the way. And I was that guy that thought nothing was wrong with this organization, ever. I would come, and I've said this on OPP with Micro Mike. I've said it on Grid's show. I've said it on Trox's show. It's just this organization. It's weird to say because it's just being a homer and being like delusional and like that. I don't want to make it. It sounds like it's a total complete put down, and it is in a way. It is, but it's just that's the way sports is. Okay, that's the way sports is. You think that your team or your new front office, your new regime is just they can't do anything wrong. They can't. And I was one of those guys. I was the guy that was going to tell you that 8 to 10 wins every year. And I've said it on multiple shows. I've said it on my own show, Orum's Den. I've said it on everywhere. I've said it on every podcast I've ever been on. It's just, we need to see change. I need to see change. I need to see it. Now, I make videos, I go on social media, and I'm probably on there too much. I'm probably on there a lot more than I should be. But to tell you the truth, I get a lot of my information from the internet. I do, and I get a lot of it from social media. I get a lot of it from Facebook, Twitter, anything that I can find, and then I try to make it my own. You know what I mean? I make it my own. I'll see an article, something I like, and I'll dig into it, and I'll make it my own. Every YouTuber does it. That's how information is gathered. That's how information is gathered. I am a YouTuber. I live in Canada. You know what I mean? I don't have access to personal, like, I don't have access to Brad. I don't have Brad Holmes' number. I don't have Dan Campbell's number, personal number, to get through and talk to him personally. There's sports writers out there that do that for a living, and they do that, and they have that access, and they have that availability, which is awesome. And they get scoops. You know what I mean? They get scoops. They have moles, all that kind of stuff. Me, myself, no. And probably every other YouTuber doesn't have it either. There might be some out there that have inside scoops, but majority, I'm going to say no. Not everyone, though. Just saying. We all get our information different ways. Like, if I focus on a player, I am hitting it big on articles that I can find of him. I'm watching his lowlights. I'm watching his highlights. I'm watching his game film. I'm trying to gather up everything that I can from that particular person. Player, coach, anybody that I can. And I do my own homework on him. And I do my own assessment on said player, said coach, whoever I'm talking about. So that's how we gather our information. I'm kind of everywhere, but just kind of follow me. It's hard to follow, but sorry, guys. This is just, I just kind of needed to get off my chest. We've been going through stuff. Like I said, I've been going through social media like crazy, having debates with people, talking about Jared Goff versus Matt Stafford, talking about this old regime versus the new regime. And I get it. Every fan base, especially this Lions fan base, was fed up with what happened prior to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. It was a gong show. Everybody's on board with that. There's not one thing that you can say that can change anybody's mind. It was an absolute gong show. But Problems do not go away right away because of a new regime. Yes, our old regime was a Barnum and Bailey circus act. It was. In comes in Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. It seems like these guys are on board with each other. They've done some smart things as an organization. We'll get into that a little bit. They've done a lot of good things so far on paper. So we'll get into that too. But the expectations have to be tempered. They have to be tempered. Like, I try to be normal when I talk to people on Facebook. It's tough. It's really hard though. It's really hard to just be like, nobody can come at you with facts. People just come at you and just make stuff up. And like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm an emotional fan. I'm an emotional fan. Sometimes I let it get the best of me. But when I'm debating you about something, please come at me with facts. You have to come at me with facts. Don't just say, this guy's going to be better or this unit's going to be better just because Aaron Glenn's here and it's not Corey Undlin. And then end it. Like, don't just say Matt Patricia is gone. That's why it's going to be better. Okay, I get the gist of it. I do understand it. Only one way to go but up. Like, I have guys tell me that our defense wasn't that bad last year. I'll have people on social media that will literally tell me that our defense really wasn't that bad. It was just because of Matt Patricia. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. We got rid of a lot of players. We got rid of a lot of bad contracts. We brought in a lot of one-year guys to prove it here because we didn't have enough draft picks to begin with. So Brad Holmes did it the smart way. It did a lot of one-year guys, got bringing in a Corn Elder, bringing in a Quentin Dunbar for a year or two, whatever. Who else did they bring in? Brought in guys like Tyrell Williams for a couple years, 1 or 2 years. Rashad Perryman bringing in for a year. Khalif Raymond, Damian Ratley, trying to find somebody who can catch a football on this team. Bringing in Jamal Williams for a couple years, that was an established player. He was established. I think he was a pretty good football player in Green Bay. Good signing. And re-signing Romeo Okwara was a must. But this regime went out there and they didn't sign a bunch of guys. There's people out there saying, go trade for Odell Beckham Jr., saying, why people mad as hell because we didn't go get Julio Jones. Just, you have to understand the system and the way it works in the NFL. Bob Quinn would have went out and got Julio Jones. Bob Quinn would have traded for Odell Beckham Jr. He would have traded for any type of massive contract player. You know, he wouldn't have done it the smart way. He would have signed 2-3 guys to massive deals, and we couldn't sign these one-year guys. Now, I'm not saying these one-year guys are going to put us over the top, because they're not. But these one-year guys are going to give us opportunities. They're going to get their opportunities, which they didn't get on other teams. Like, Damian Ratley is literally going to have an opportunity to become a wide receiver on this team. When he played with Cleveland, he only got into a handful of games. I think he also played for, I don't know who the guy, the Giants. I forget who he played. Khalif Raymond, kind of the same deal. A Marvin Hall 2.0 type guy. Runs straight and can catch a football. Speed the burn. Rashad Perryman, total colossal bust. Has played for 5 or 6 teams. And people think this kid's coming in. He's going to become his dad. He's going to become Brett Perryman. Now, I get called many names for not getting on board like everybody else does. I think it's uncalled for, to tell you the truth, but that's it's just the way it is. I get called a hater. I get told to leave Lions groups, you know, because I'm skeptical. Like I said, I've been a fan for 40 something years. I have every right to be skeptical. Every right. I love this team. My man cave is littered in Lions gear. Posters, plaques, banners, pennants, all that stuff. You know, all on there. Detroit Tigers, Montreal. I got Detroit everything. I got some of my Montreal Canadian stuff here too, but you know what I mean? It's all Lions all the time. So I have every right to be skeptical. I have to be. And I'll tell you something. I was a homer 2 years ago. I'm fresh. I feel like it's an Alcohol Anonymous meeting, because I was literally that delusional homer drinking Kool-Aid drinker fan that thought this organization could do nothing wrong. I thought they could do nothing wrong. And only up until about 2 years ago, 2019 is when I was like, I can't, or 2000, maybe even last year, 2020. Because 2019, I probably said they're going to win 10, 11 games. So 2020, I'm fresh as a baby. Out. You know what I mean? 2020, I was like, I've had enough. It took me 40 something years to finally kick it and say, I just can't say the Lions are going to win 8 to 10 games, 8 to 12, whatever they're going to win. I can't do it anymore. I can't. It was 2020. I remember, and I've gotten into an argument with my buddy about this, Chris Green. You know who you are. So it's fresh for me. Last year, I predicted 6 wins. I think they had 5, whatever they had. This year, I'm predicting 5 again. So people say 5-12. Mark, you're nuts. New regime, new coaches, new this, new that, new schemes. Yeah. Look at the schedule. Look at the schedule. Look at the holes on this team. And then come back to me. People come back to me and still call me crazy. Still think I'm nuts. 5-12, you're nuts. And there's a lot of people that are on board with that. And listen, I don't want to be right. I'm not sitting here coming on here on this YouTube begging and pleading for my subscribers to give me a bro hug, man, to give me a virtual hug and say everything's going to be okay. I really don't. I'm just saying, I know there's a lot of people that think we're going to win. There's people that think we're going to win 1 game, 2 games, 3 games. I get that. Have your opinion, but base it on something. Come on here and base it on something. Don't just tell me this is going to work because it's a brand new regime. We are building something in Detroit, or Brad Holmes is. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are building something in Detroit. This is not going to get fixed overnight. Look at the schedule. It's brutal. We play like 6 or 7 playoff teams from last year. And if Aaron Rodgers comes back, it's even worse. And we're not better than the Vikings. And we're probably just as bad, or maybe slightly better than the Bears. But I wouldn't bet on it. 5, maybe 6 wins. I got 5 wins. And I'm not sitting here telling you that, like I said, I'm not coming on here going, oh, please, I hope it's 5-12. No, I'm not doing it that way. I just think that's the way it's going to be, 5-12. It's going to take some time. It's not just going to get fixed overnight. There's too many holes. I had a guy today on Facebook tell me that the LA Rams and the Detroit Lions had the same record as last year. I'm like, we were arguing for 20 minutes. Like we had a pretty good argument, man. It wasn't bad, you know what I mean? But the guy was like, it was a Goff versus Stafford. You know, I was saying Stafford was a better quarterback. Not saying he's lights above Goff, but he's better. I think he's a better quarterback. I'd rate Stafford around 10-12 and Goff around 15-20. So it's not a crazy jump, but it is a drop. It is a drop in talent. I think it is. I think there's a drop off. There's a drop off there. And we were going back and forth on that, and all of a sudden by the end of the argument, whatever we were doing, he's like, I can't believe you think he thought they were the same quarterback. He was like, they're exactly the same type of quarterback. And I'm like, no, they're just not. Like, they're two different quarterbacks. Yeah, they might have their pocket passers with the, Goff's got some mobility. Stafford has probably a little bit less mobility, but they're pocket passers. Stafford's got a way better arm. The accuracy is probably around the same. You know what I mean? Stafford has a better deep ball, this and that. They're not the same quarterback. They're not. There's some similarities there, but not the same. So then he goes on to say that, I can't believe you think they're the best when the two teams had the same record as last year. I'm like, same record as last year? I go, what? I go, no. Lions won 5. Rams won 10. Made it to the playoffs. Lost to the Packers in the playoffs, but made the playoffs. Number 1 defense, great running game, great O-line, good coaches. Completely opposite of what Detroit had last year. Complete. And Stafford has it better over there right now. It's a better situation for him over there. Goff is coming into a place where players come to die. And it's time for these players, for these coaches, to show us something. And then the whole point of this video, I guess, is I'm sick of hearing it. I just want to see it. It's time to see it. Don't you guys agree? Like I know I want to see it. I'm sick of just saying every 3-4 years, okay, this is different, man. We're gonna win. Just because. Prove it now. Prove it. That's all I want to see. I just want to see proof. I just don't want to. I'm sick of hearing it. There's too many holes right now on this team. Like I said, I love what this regime has done. Not spending a bunch of money, which was bonus. They're going to acquire more draft capital next year. 3-4 extra picks. We're probably going to have about 10 to 11 picks in the draft, I think. Holmes could turn those picks into more picks. We have 4 number 1s coming up in the next 2 years. He could turn those into something special. But it's going to take time. This is not going to get fixed overnight. Have your opinions. You can have your opinions. You can do all you can. You could tell me why this team's going to win 10 games. You could tell me why we're going to make the playoffs, win the NFC North. You can tell me all that. That's fine. And you have every right to do that. At least come up with reasons. Just don't say, oh, because Dan Campbell's over here now and he used to coach with Sean Payton. Oh, Brad Holmes comes from a winning organization. You know what I mean? That's why we're going to win. Yeah, those are bonuses. That's great. That's great to hear. I need a little more. I need to see it now. And I'm not asking for too much there. I don't believe I'm asking for a lot. I just want proof. This is going to be a bad year, 2021. 2022, we have some money. I don't know if Brad Holmes wants to spend any money or Dan Campbell. Those two guys know what they're doing. Those two guys know what they're thinking. Apparently, these two guys share a brain, and they are very in sync with each other, which is great. So we're going to have some money. We're going to have double-digit picks. 2023, I believe, is when we're going to compete. And if it's earlier, that's even better. It's even better. I'd love it for it to be earlier. I just don't see it right now. I want to see this year playing tough, play with heart, play for your coach, play for your organization, play for your teammates, play for yourself. Show that you care about this city, about the Detroit Lions. Show that you care about the organization, because the old regime, players didn't care. You could tell. The way they played, the way they talked to the media, just things that happened throughout the last 3 years that or 2.5 years that Matt Patricia was here, and Bob Quinn was here for 5 years, how long he was here. this new regime seems like they're in tune with each other. Dan Campbell is a player's coach, which I always love. I think player coaches are the most successful coaches. If you look down the line of winners, Super Bowl winners, you look at all the head coaches, look who they were, and most of them, not all, but I bet you there's a majority. Majority is that he was a player's coach. A coach that you can go to in a time of need, any day of the week, not just go in on a Saturday and talk about football. I'm talking go in on a Tuesday afternoon. One of these guys are having problems with their girlfriends or their wife. Go sit down with their head coach, talk to him, hash it out, work out some differences. The guy can get up, walk out of that office, and go, man, I want to play for that head coach, man. I want to play for him. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to hear about. I want to hear those type of things, man. I'm getting all emotional now. I'm getting all emotional here. But it's going to take some time, man. It's going to take some time. This team is not ready to win just yet. But I like the avenue it's taking. Woo! Thanks for the video, guys. I just had to get that out. I just want everybody just to lower their expectations a bit. You got to look at the big picture. You got to look at the big picture, and you have to realize what's in front of you. You have to realize what this organization has in front of you. Now, I'm not trying to attack any type of Lions fan, because I was that guy too. I was that delusional Homer Lions fan that just thought nothing could go wrong. And those days for me are over. They're done. I need to see change. When I sit there on my couch or sit in Ford Field and watch a game or go to their training camp whenever my border opens and I can go see a training camp, I want to see the difference. And I'll be able to tell. Anybody can tell. Anybody that's a football, you don't have to even be a football person. You could tell if you could see change. You'll be able to tell watching a football game with the first 10 minutes if that team's going to play tough. 5-10 minutes. You should normally be able to tell. You won't be able to tell the outcome of the game, but you can obviously tell, like, okay, this team means something. See a couple possessions, see a couple series from defense, offense. You can tell. You have a feel. There's a feel to sports, man. There's a feel to football. There's a feel to base. There's a feel for everything. Football, I think especially, you can feel it. You can feel the emotion. You can see the emotion. Football is an extremely emotional game. Most emotional game out there by far, I think. Personally, you can be some people that might disagree, but it's a very emotional game. Just lower the expectations. We're gonna get there, guys. Come at me with facts, not fiction. Don't make up stuff. Talk real. And we can talk all day, man. But thanks for the video, guys. I need to get that off my chest. It was good. Like I said, it's therapy for me, man. It's literally therapy for me doing this. Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Get all my videos. Like and comment. Let's talk about it. I know that I might get some feedback on this one, good and bad. Let's go. Boom. Thanks, guys.